The Pittsburgh Steelers just stole the former 9th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft at the cornerback position, CJ Henderson. So, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed defensive cornerback CJ Henderson to their practice squad. And this comes after injuries to Corey Trice Jr. going on injury reserve. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed James Pierre to the 53-man roster, and they're just filling out depth on their team and bringing another guy on to the practice squad and maybe to be elevated on game day as they're lacking depth at the cornerback position. So, CJ Henderson, let's get into the introduction for him. He was originally drafted, like I said, in the first round with the 9th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has appeared in 49 games in his career, starting 32 of them, and has recorded 172 tackles, 139 of them being solo tackles, 16 pass defense, 6 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and his first interception actually came in his first game against Phillip Rivers. And he also has 2 forced fumbles, a sack, and a fumble recovery. So, CJ Henderson has put production in this league, has had the experience as such a young cornerback, and still only in his 4th season now. So, Henderson has appeared in 8 games for the Jaguars in 2020. He started all of them before finishing the season on injured reserve. He then finished the season with 36 tackles, 27 solo stops, 6 pass defense, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. This is all in his rookie season. And just after his first NFL season, 1.5 seasons in the league, he's then traded to the Carolina Panthers in the early 2021 season. And that's basically where everything went downhill for him. The Jaguars kind of just gave up on him. The Carolina Panthers brought him in, and he was with them through the 2023 season. He played in 12 games in 2023, starting 7, and finished the season with 39 tackles, 31 of them solo stops, and 3 tackles for loss. After that, he was let go, did not get re-signed by the Panthers, and he signed with the Houston Texans in 2024. And then he was out of the league. So you look at CJ Henderson, and he was dealt a bad hand. He went to a bad Jacksonville team in 2020, and then he was given up on. The team just gave up on him. After 1 year, a top draft pick talent, a 9th overall pick, the team just gives up on him and trades him away to Carolina. And we all know going to Carolina, that's a bad place to be. All because their team is just really bad, poor system, poor team in general, and anyone on that team will just fade away because there's really no bright spot to the team. Even today, you see Bryce Young. He's a top pick, and he's now given up on, and now the team benches him, and he went to Carolina. So a first-round draft pick, just a season ago, and he's already faded away, and now he doesn't look like a good player. So he's really just dealt a bad hand, CJ Henderson was, going to Jacksonville, and then going to the Panthers, and then really being out of the league after just 4 seasons. He even didn't get to play 4 seasons. He played 3 seasons in this league, and his 4th season, he's already out of it. So obviously, I could say he was dealt a bad hand, but maybe it's because of his play as well. So you have to look at both of it. Looking at Henderson, why was he a 9th overall pick talent, a first-round pick talent? Well, he's played college football at the University of Florida, where he appeared in 33 games and finished his career with 93 tackles, 66 of them solo stops, 6 interceptions, 20 pass defense, 4 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. So obviously, the scouts, the teams liked what he did in college enough for him to be a 9th overall pick. And that talent just doesn't go away. That talent could be utilized or it can't be utilized. And obviously it wasn't utilized in the right way with Jacksonville. It just doesn't go away. The talent, the speed, the athleticism, everything like that just doesn't go away, especially with no major injury happening. So hopefully with the Steelers, even though it's just on the practice squad right now, hopefully he's able to bounce back, dig deep into his bag, and find that talent that he once had, I guess, and use it for the Steelers if he ever gets the chance to be on the playing field. And the crazy part about it too is even though he was just signed, he can really be given opportunity to play this season and make an impact on this team, especially with all the injuries the Pittsburgh Steelers are dealing with and have dealt with this season at the cornerback position. For example, you look at Joey Porter Jr., he's healthy. You look at Dante Jackson, he's banged up. It seems like every game it's questionable, hey, he's dealing with something, but then he continues and finishes the game. Then you look at James Pierre, he's healthy, just got signed. But you look at Corey Trace Jr., went down with an injury, and he's out and now on IR with a hamstring injury. You look at Darius Rush, he was out last week's game. So now there's some openings on this team. Obviously, Beanie Bishop, he's a slot cornerback, so we're not going to talk about him. We're talking about like outside guys. So obviously, CJ Henderson, if he is given the opportunity, and he might be because of these injuries, hopefully he's able to come in and succeed and show his talent and show his flashes that he once had in college at the NFL level. Those talents just don't go away, like I keep saying. It could all be about a system, and we all know the Pittsburgh Steelers have a system. It could be about the guys around you. It could be about the coaching. Some things just don't pan out in certain teams because they don't have that culture. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have that culture. They have that motivator in Mike Tomlin, and hopefully Mike Tomlin is able to get the best out of CJ Henderson to motivate him to get back to where he was. And also hopefully Terrell Austin. He has a system to be able to put in place to have CJ Henderson learn it, and hopefully the system fits him well to be able to fit his skill set. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a complicated system that they run. They really run the same thing over and over all game. They do a few things different with all these blitzes and stuff like that, but for the most part, their secondary kind of looks the same game in and game out. They really don't allow things to get beaten deep, and they keep everything in front of them, come up, make tackles, kind of play man-to-man sometimes, zone coverage. But other than that, it's really a basic system in my eyes. So hopefully that fits CJ Henderson well, and he's able to not be kind of confused in the system, and this allows his full potential to be shown. So it's all about learning the system, the team that you go to, and things like that. If you're put in a position to succeed from day one, it doesn't matter which position it is, from quarterback, like we're talking about Bryce Young, or from the cornerback position, CJ Henderson. It really depends on if you're able to be put in the right position to start your career. Because if you're not, you look like a bad player on a bad team, and then things start going downhill. And in my eyes, that's what happened with CJ Henderson. One last thing I want to talk about before I end this video is something that Terrell Austin did say about Terrell Edmunds. He just got brought back by the Steelers a few weeks ago, and now he's on this roster. He first got signed to the practice squad, then to the 53-man roster, but he was inactive for last week's game. And he said that you could expect to see Terrell Edmunds play sooner rather than later. And when you look at that, the reason is because of the injuries. That's basically Terrell Austin said, because now they have to go to more package looks. And Terrell Edmunds is obviously a guy who could play in packages, play in different areas at a linebacker spot, could do it all. So if they're coming out in packages because of their injuries, Terrell Edmunds could see the field. And that means that CJ Henderson may be able to see the field if he gets to the 53-man roster or elevate on game day in certain packages. So basically, probably just goes both ways, I would think, for those guys because of the injuries that Terrell Austin has mentioned. And also, looking at Terrell Edmunds. And also, one thing for Terrell Edmunds that could also relate to CJ Henderson is Terrell Edmunds was put in a great situation in Pittsburgh. His talent really didn't show. He really didn't show out as a first-round talent in which he was drafted by with the Steelers, but he was put in a really good position by the Steelers. And once he left this team, his career went downhill from there. So it's really about the position and the teams that you're on, because the Pittsburgh Steelers put him in the best situation possible when they drafted him. And he was with this team for what? Like 5+ years. And then he left. He went to Philadelphia. And then Philadelphia, they don't have that respect for you as the Steelers did, drafting you. They don't have that connection to you. Maybe not respect, but they don't have that connection to you. And then he was traded to Tennessee. And then he ended up in the Jacksonville team. So it's just about bouncing around team from team. And it's about being in the best position. And I guess he didn't realize how well he had it with the Steelers. Some players leave certain teams and then their career goes downhill. And that's what happened with Edmunds. And now he's back with the Steelers. And hopefully his career could start picking up. So Steelers are the best system for him. Hopefully the Steelers are the best system for CJ Henderson as well. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about both those topics. Basically, Austin saying that Edmonds will see the field sooner rather than later. How do you think he could help this team in packages, at the linebacker spot, at the safety spot? What area can he help this team? Also, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about CJ Henderson, the Pittsburgh Steelers signing a former first round pick, 9th overall, a top 10 pick in the NFL draft just 4 years ago, and then he was out of the league in 3 years. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think he could help this team and get back to where he was in college in his first season in the NFL? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, everything like that. I've covered all. Every new player we've gotten, I made an introduction to them on the channel. So go ahead and check those out. And this is CJ Henderson's introduction to the Pittsburgh Steelers fans and the fans' introduction to CJ Henderson. Also, after every game so far this season, I've done a kind of a highlight film breakdown along with analysis. Go ahead and check those out, and I'll continue doing those. So like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and I'll see you guys all later. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.